this player, Kawhi Leonard, he got traded to Toronto. As soon as he gets there, great team. I think we can all acknowledge that. They go to the chip. They win the chip over the injured Golden State Warriors. And I know Joel's going to have a lot to say about this. So we're going to start off with Joel. Joel, did Kawhi Leonard get too much credit for winning that championship?
Yes. Kawhi Leonard gets an absurd amount of credit for winning a championship that was lifted off by a lot of the role players. 5 role players averaged double digits in the finals for Kawhi Leonard. And that's against an injured Warriors team. See, this is a problem with Kawhi Leonard and the media. People think Kawhi is, unanimously the best player in the world because he wins a finals MVP, even though he's not facing the team that every superstar player had to face. LeBron James faced a different Warriors team than Kawhi. James Harden faced a different Warriors team than Kawhi. But Kawhi,
he's played them before, though.
Kawhi gets praised the most out of everybody. Same thing in San Antonio. Wins a finals MVP, even though Tony Parker averaged more points than him. Tim Duncan was an anchor for them on defense. So it was every team that Kawhi has won a championship on, it has been a group effort. Everybody has chipped in. Game 6 of the finals. The MVP for that game was Fred VanVleet. I would have voted for him as finals MVP, honestly. Fred VanVleet.
Who'd you vote for?
Major contributor to Game 6. And Fred VanVleet was huge throughout the series. Kyle Lowry as well. His teammates set up him to succeed. I'm not saying that Kawhi didn't do a lot. He did a lot, obviously. He was the best player on the team. But to feel like Kawhi Leonard was a one-man show is ridiculous because he wasn't.
Wait. So, Joel, just before JC goes, if you had to vote, who would you give in your vote for finals MVP?
Look, obviously, for the Raptors and Warriors, it's Kawhi.
No, I'm saying besides Kawhi.
Besides Kawhi.
So, co-MVP.
Probably Pascal Siakam.
Yeah, that 30 ball first game was a tone set.
34.
That was a tone. He struggled throughout the series, and then
he set tone.
Fred VanVleet was huge, but I think, I just burped. But I just think it was a huge. I just think it was a huge effort collectively as a unit. And
Serge Ibaka.
And I think Nick Nurse, he had a great scheme against Steph Curry using a box and one. So they had great coaching, they had great players. So to say that Kawhi is just one man show, all this, all that, I don't agree with it.
And the box and one works well when you throw different defenders at him, big, small, strong, skinny, like it works. JC, talk to me. Do you agree with Joel?
Okay, so to answer that question, if Kawhi gets so much credit for the championship, I'm gonna say no.
Oh,
now I'm gonna say no because look, I'm not gonna talk about the first. I'm gonna do this by I'm gonna make it short and sweet with each series. I'm not gonna talk about the Orlando Magic because that was a gentleman's sweep basically. Okay, so for the postseason, he averaged 30 points, 4 rebounds, 9 assists. This is on the way to the finals. Versus Philly, 35, 10, 4 against Philly. Siakam played pretty well. He averaged 19 and 6. That was a help there. Lowry and the rest of the roster struggled. Lowry shot 39%. Nobody else in that roster scored over double digit in points. Kawhi also hit the biggest shot, probably. I don't want to say of all time, but one of the biggest shots that we've ever seen.
In that decade, definitely.
One of the luckiest, too.
In the decade, definitely biggest shot in the decade.
I also want to point in that Kawhi Leonard, if you look at his 2018 postseason run, that's amongst top 10 all time and one of the best postseason runs. If you look at it, I'll show you guys a link later on the side. Versus Milwaukee, 30 points per game, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Pascal Siakam struggled, who was the second option.
Cooked your boy. He cooked your boy.
Okay, he did.
Yeah.
So,
Cooked your boy.
I mean, look, Kyle Lowry. I mean, everybody for the most part, I don't want to say struggle, but they weren't performing up to par. You saw what Kawhi Leonard did. He averaged 30 points per game, averaged 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, and took the initiative in shutting down the league MVP. Held them down. They won 4 straight games and route to the finals. Now we're on to the Warriors. I agree with Joel saying that he had help, but I just want to point out the fact that Kawhi led the team in scoring. He led the team in rebounds. He led the team in steals, and he actually led the team in blocks. Didn't lead the team in assists. That was actually Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet second. Shot 37% from the 3 and 44% from the field. Won Finals MVP too. I just think that his impact is kind of getting underrated because of what the role players, what most of them were supposed to do. Now, did we expect Fred VanVleet to come out and average, 16 points? I'm not going to lie. I didn't expect that. Did I expect Serge Ibaka to average a double-double? I didn't expect that either. But if we're talking about the finals, you can say that he definitely had help. But if you look at everything that led up to the finals, the run and everything that was en route to set up the finals, I think Kawhi doesn't get enough credit. Riv, when I said that he had a top 10 postseason run, Riv made a face. And that just shows right there that
No, you said because I heard you say a year. I thought you said the wrong year though.
But okay. I mean, 2018 was one of the most historic postseason runs ever, and he capped it off with a Finals MVP.
Yeah, you keep saying 2018. It's 2019.
Is it 2020? All right,
2018, 2019 season.
2018, 2019.
That's why I kept getting messed up.
Yeah, 2018, 2019. You're right.
What you got to say about that? He scored top 10 run.
This is what I have to say. One, he does deserve some credit. Does he deserve as much credit as you're trying to praise him for? Absolutely not.
How about for the series before?
Kawhi shouldn't even have let DJ Augustine completely cook the Raptors and win a game.
I remember that game.
The last time anybody even thought he had potential was when he played for the Bobcats. That's not even a team anymore. The next series against Philly, yes, he hit one of the luckiest shots. Those are one of the shots that you break your disc in your PlayStation after somebody hits on you if you're playing 2K.
He had a great series, though.
He had a great series, but that's
amazing series. That was actually his best series.
Shots. And Ben Simmons was his primary defender, and he's
that's one of the luckiest shots. And then the next series,
first Milwaukee
started out 2-0, and it wasn't until Nick Nurse designed a game plan to build the Great Wall of China for Giannis and not allow him in the paint. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like Kawhi was defending him one-on-one.
I
was staring before you ask a question. I was watching the games. And I kept shaking my head because in the fourth quarter, especially in game, the series went to 6 games, right?
Yeah.
In game 6, I'm watching the series. I'm watching the fourth quarter, and I'm just shaking my head because I'm like, why is Mike Budenholzer still have Eric Bledsoe in the game instead of putting George Hill and having a shooting lineup out there? I felt like part of the series was lost because of mismanagement by Mike Budenholzer. So, I mean, Kawhi played great. We know that. But to give him the credit for Nick Nurse game planning a perfect game plan, to give him credit for hitting a lucky shot, I feel like that's a little absurd.
I just want to ask this question, JC, before you go. Okay. You say they built the Great Wall, but let me ask you a hypothetical. Mm-hmm. You put another good defender in Kawhi's spot to play to be the stopper at the top. Would that Great Wall work?
It probably will. Giannis can't shoot. He has to get by it.
There's not too many defenders that you can put on an island with that are on an island with Giannis that defends better than Kawhi.
If you're building a wall with a 7'1" Gasol, or I think he's 7 foot, the 7 foot Gasol, a 7 foot Ibaka, a 6'10", 6'9",
you got that man at the top. So I don't.
Okay, so my rebuttal for this. So we would all agree Pascal Siakam's a pretty good defender, right? For the most part,
he's cooking him. Giannis was
exactly.
Cooking
so now, if they had ran that same game plan with Pascal Siakam guarding him, will we have the same results?
Look,
he
was doing them bad.
Maybe not Siakam, but
he's a good defender.
It's not like Giannis only had to get by one person. He had to get by one.
But it's hard to get by that one person
and then run into.
That's a 2-time defensive player of the year right there.
So this is the thing. Look, in my opinion.
Kawhi
may have slowed him down a little bit, but I don't think the game plan falters if it's Torrey Craig or PJ Tucker guarding Giannis at the top. Because I think you have that other layer that you have to get by, and Giannis couldn't get by that.
Oh, Lord.
Did you just
Torrey Craig?
Did you just put Torrey Craig on the same?
Torrey Craig isn't a bad defender.
Did you just put him on the same level as Kawhi?
I never said that. I said
yes,
I never said he's on the same level. I said he's a good defender who he could do a solid job, especially if he has a wall behind him protecting him. He could do a good job.
Giannis is gonna blow past him.
He's gonna baby him.
Yo, what's wrong with you?
He won't baby Serge Ibaka. He won't baby Serge Ibaka.
You wouldn't leave Serge Ibaka on an island with Giannis. Giannis would cook him too.
This is the thing. Giannis wasn't on an island. Like, he wasn't on an island the whole series.
Well, look,
Giannis was struggling to get past the first wall, bro.
No, listen, the wall is – I'll give Joel credit for that. That's an excellent defensive scheme. But you're guarding a man who plays in the paint. Like, what else is he going to do?
No, he takes the ball up, though. He was taking the ball up.
He was struggling to get past Kawhi and throwing turnovers when Kawhi was on him. Kawhi's a big physical freak. You see his hands? Like, you're trying to disrespect Kawhi a little too much now. You said Torrey Craig, bro. Come on. Like,
and then we talk
Tucker,
about the finals. Then we talk about the finals. The Raptors barely won. A lot of the games were close.
Facts, except
Klay Thompson was hurt the whole series. Kayvon Looney was hurt. Who was their starting lineup at one point? I can't remember 3 players that were starting for them at one point.
It was bad. Quinn Cook was starting one time. Started one time. That's how bad it was.
I really can't. Like, you know,
Klay Thompson got hurt game 6, right?
And maybe if Steph Curry scores in the fourth quarter, maybe if Steph Curry shows up in the fourth quarter, then the Warriors might have won some games. But he didn't show up in the fourth, and that's why they lost some of those. Especially, what about the game when Steph Curry dropped like 49? What did he have? Like
47?
It was 47.
He didn't show up in the fourth. Maybe if
they got blown out that game,
they would have won.
Yo, Joel. So
hold on, JC. Hold on, JC. Whoa. Did you just say they could have won game 4? Did you know who was playing that game? I'm
saying, if Curry would have maybe showed up in the fourth, they would have had a better chance.
I'm not even gonna get into that. Somebody you like doesn't even make the finals.
So before we finish this off, I just got one question for Joel. So it's not impressive that Kawhi led the team in scoring, rebounding, steals, and blocks.
That's
4 out of the 5 major categories.
I mean, look, it's impressive, but
it's great. I don't think
blocks are everything. Yeah, I just really don't. I don't think steals are everything either. Steph Curry led the league in steals. Like, who cares? It's just a number.
But Kawhi's a great defender to go along with the steals, though. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, he's a great defender.
You're going to get that two-way player.
I mean,
he's an all-time great defender.
You have to add context to those numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to add context. I think, okay, this is the problem that I have with Kawhi winning the championship and getting all this credit. The problem I have is that he didn't play better against the Warriors than Harden played against the Warriors. Harden had better efficiency. He had better numbers, and he was considered that he choked. The reason why Kawhi gets credit is because winning bias. They won, so nobody cares. That's why it's winning bias.
Or maybe because
he was playing absurdly well. It's that they won. And if they would have lost, we would have been on Kawhi the same way we were on other stars. But they won, so it's winning bias. And people have
maybe just because Harden, just like Curry, Harden doesn't show up in fourth quarters either.
Actually, every single fourth quarter that Houston had against the Warriors, their efficiency, their offensive rating was off the roof. The Warriors were just better. The Warriors were just better. But, I mean, look, Kawhi didn't have to face a Kevin Durant one game. He had to face him for like what? Maybe a few minutes? Come on, man. Not going to compare that.
I mean, they played in 2017 and he was blowing them out before he messed up his leg.
Yeah. Portland was blowing them out too, and they blew every single lead. That doesn't mean nothing.
The difference is
we know that
Kevin Durant wasn't playing that series though.
We know that
Kawhi was killing KD. He was killing KD.
We know that the Warriors
locking him up.
We know that the Warriors come back from leads. So honestly, who cares? They came back that game too. So
when Kawhi left.
But they still came back. They still came
when
back.
Kawhi left.
They
had nobody score.
You're giving me a sample of a half. That's a half. Like, you understand? That's a half. He was killing. That's a half. I'm not going to go by.
We all agree the series would have been different if Kawhi had played every game.
It would have been different, but would have
definitely been different.
No, they wouldn't have won.
Probably not. Just like all the other teams don't win if they're healthy. Same shit.
Doesn't deserve the credit, man.
Stop. So obviously Joel feels that he doesn't deserve all the credit. I feel he kind of does deserve all the credit. So I mean, leave us your opinion in the comment section.